Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav in today's session of Daily Stock, which is the first of this new calendar year 2024. We are going to look into the prospects of Berkshire Hathaway, which is the US based conglomerate having presence across the diverse businesses. As we are starting this new session in a new year, let me first wish you a very happy new year and a great prosperous year ahead. Maybe we will be able to make a lot of money, a lot of profit in this year, hopefully. So now, for that, we need to be aware of the fundamentals of the businesses we are investing and trading into, and that is my endeavor to provide you the valuable information which you can process, which you can utilize while making the decisions to trade and invest in a particular stock. If you look at the Berkshire Hathaway's business spread its presence, you will find it from railroads to the insurance segment and many other businesses in between. It has been buying different sorts of businesses which it feel are consistently profitable, or you can say are able to deliver consistent results which are going to be valuable for its shareholders, and it is an ongoing process. It keeps acquiring new businesses, and last quarter was no exception, where also it announced the acquisition of some of these businesses which are reported in its quarterly earnings as well. This is the third quarter report for the quarter ending September 30th, 2023. For the last quarter, the company was in loss, and the loss is huge. But then you have to look at the holdings of the company, and you have to put that in perspective as well. It has a lot of investments on its book, and depending on how the stock market has performed, how the shares of various companies have performed for that quarter, it has to report the profit and losses. It has to get mark to market losses or profit for that particular quarter on its book. So you will see divergence and huge at that in quarter to quarter profit and loss statement of the company, which is a lot more than what you will usually find in other similarly placed companies. But then that is the unique nature of the company's mm, business operations and its presence, and we have to be mindful of that. So you can look at its quarterly earnings two ways. Once you have to only consider the operating aspects, and in other you can also include its investments and presence in subsidiaries, etc. If you look at the consolidated statement of income, you will find that for the last quarter, the company's loss is around $12 billion, which is quite a lot compared to the loss of $2.7 billion in the same quarter of 2022. Because in the third quarter of this fiscal year, we saw the stock market gyrating downwards, and that resulted in a significant decline in its values of the holdings of various investments, and as a result of that there was a lot of mark to market losses. But those investments are still on the company's books, and if there is a increase, there is gain in the ongoing quarter, it will reflect when the earnings come in for this quarter. So you will have the company swinging back in profit in this quarter. There is a railway line near my home, and there is a train going, because of which there is this huge noise. Now, if we have to look at its cash flow statement, in cash flow statement, you will find that a lot of money is adjusted under the investments, and there was decline of $5 billion in cash and cash equivalent. So if you look at the amount of cash the company is sitting on, it is quite huge. Not many companies are out there which have this sort of cash holding at their disposal of more than 30 billion US dollar, of which we have seen the reduction of around $5 billion in the last quarter. So it is a bit difficult to read its financial report and consider the going ons of the company's businesses merely on these numbers. We have to understand the market cycle, we have to understand the business cycle and see where things stand, because in this sort of environment it is very difficult to make a proper assessment because of the complex nature of the company's operations. So I would suggest that you refer to a couple of quarters reports and also pay attention to what is happening in the broader market if you want to have a mm, if you want to have the knowledge about the possibility of the developments in the current quarter. You will have to keep up with this and add to your repertoire various entities which are related to the Berkshire Hathaway. Even the companies like Coca-Cola and hence impact the results of the Berkshire Hathaway. You have to consider all these aspects while making the decision regarding to trade and invest in the Berkshire Hathaway. Now we turn our attention to the technical side of the story, and for that all we have to do is consider its price formation on these daily time frame. For last month, the December, the Berkshire Hathaway stock didn't really go anywhere. It simply consolidated in a very narrow range of around 5 to 6 percentage point. And at the start of this new year, it is closer to the upper band of this range. So it will be interesting to see how it is going to perform in the month of January. My expectation is that keeping up with its trajectory of making higher highs and higher lows on these medium term range, it is likely to climb towards 370 and above in this week or in coming weeks. So that possibility looks real strong. From the trading perspective, I think it is better to go with the flow and keep looking for buying opportunities. The price zone of around 340, 350 was quite good, and even in the current scenario, I think the price range of around 350 is going to be crucial. And if we are able to get our entries closer to that, the risk reward ratio is going to be optimal, and with the possibility of it climbing past 370, we have this strong possibility of getting the trade right. But of course you can't be too sure about any of these trades, and it can also go wrong. So in that scenario, you have to work to minimize the losses by getting the entry at such levels where the risk reward ratio is favorable, and the possible profit is likely to be multifold of the likely loss which we can suffer if the decision goes wrong. So, from medium term perspective, given the price formation has been of high highs and high lows since sub 300 level, I feel even in current scenario the sentiment remains bullish, and we haven't really seen any significant turnaround in this current scenario. So the best way, the safe way is to go with the flow and maybe look for a price entry around 350 and expect it to climb towards 370 or thereabout. So that is the medium term outlook for the Berkshire Hathaway's stock price. From longer term perspective, the things are similarly bullish where it stands at the verge of a fresh breakout. So I think the possibility is there that it might climb past 370 and even in course of time 400 or thereabout in the coming months. So, from the longer term, the things are favorable. It is likely to climb and keep climbing higher and higher from the current levels. So, from medium term as well as from the long term, the best decision to make is to buy, but we always have to be mindful of the decision going wrong, possibly wrong. So, we have to ensure that the risk reward ratio is favorable enough to warrant the risk which we will have to take. From short term perspective, the outlook is also bullish. It is not very far from the prior swing high, and in today's session it has climbed continuously from the start of the day, and right now it is sitting at the highest level of the day. And here also the outlook looks bullish, and in the current scenario, if it is able to make a fresh swing high, then adopting a buy on this strategy is going to be helpful. We can go for the new trade maybe in tomorrow's session once we have proper consolidation and maybe slight correction towards the immediate swing low of around 355. And if we are fortunate enough to get a fresh entry in tomorrow's session, we can again wait it out for it to continue its climb and deliver a new swing high above the priorly registered level. So, from short term to medium term to longer term, it is likely to keep climbing because the price formation looks bullish, and there is fundamental reason also that the broader sentiments have been bullish for the ongoing quarter, for the last quarter as well, and it is likely to show up in the financial results for the Berkshire Hathaway's. Whenever it announces its quarterly results, it is likely to swing back in profit from being in loss in the prior quarter. So, keeping that possibility in mind, we have to go with the flow and keep looking for the opportunities to go for a long trade, go for a buy trade in the coming days, coming weeks, and coming months as well. So that's all from my side for today's session, where we consider the Berkshire Hathaway's business presence and its price formation to look for the trading and investment opportunities where the risk reward ratio is favorable. So for the day, I am now signing off. If you have any query or any idea to share, do write to me in the feedback, and I would be more than happy to take the decision for discussion forward. Thank you all for joining in. Have a fabulous day ahead. See you next time around. Till then, goodbye.